What's going on, guys? Fabled here with another story time from freshman year, but during a time period I haven't talked too much about yet, which is while I was at a behavior school. This story takes place during the fourth quarter of the school year. Didn't happen on one specific day, as much of a buildup of events. So let's get right into the story. While I was at behavior school, the class sizes were very small, about 8 people at most. In the class that's important to this story is no exception. I'd already met a variety of characters at this school, including my nigga Lil Wedo, a fat ass white looking Mexican that was never in class but always on the streets. There are some other interesting people I met. In particular, there's this couple, a white boy and little white girl that I had been talking to. The boy who we're gonna call Dylan, who had went to my school, and we had some of the same homies, but Dylan's was also friendly with the boy who we're calling Trey. Now, Trey was not only a D1 dick rider, but a D1 bitch ass nigga, because at the beginning of the school year, me and Trey had both been friends with the girl who was a senior. Trey was a junior or a senior, and I was a freshman. We both hung out with her. Trey had himself a little crush, so when we went to homecoming and she was all over me instead of him, he didn't take too kindly to that and started spreading rumors that my 14-year-old self R-worded this 18-year-old woman that was on me first. Since then though, it's been on site with Trey, and he had been sending me pictures of his guns, making threats. When I found out Dylan and his girl Cassie knew him, I had to make my move. So I get friendly with Dylan, and the more we talk, I realize he's a cool person and probably won't switch on his homies, but he's also kind of an idiot, someone who lies to fit in and really just a little leech. Dylan also had his own problems going on since he was in behavior school for jumping a pedophile, but what I found out after is he had snitched on the others in his little group of vengeance, and now they were coming for him. So the same day I meet Dylan and Cassie, Dylan gets into another fight and is suspended from behavior school, leaving me with no other options but to take his bitch. So I chop it up with Cassie, more in all the classes I have with her. I get her Instas, text her after school, and eventually Dylan comes back, but by that point she had broken up with him. And I'd also found out that his friend Trey had been hitting her up as well. Sensing that is my moment, I of course tell Dylan about it, but he doesn't even care that his homies or talking to his girl while they were together, and still doing it now that they're apart. Cassie tells me she's not interested in Trey, but I tell her I'll pay her in dispos just to chop it up with him and eventually help me backdoor him. Trey's still sending me pictures of his gun collection on the daily, as well as flexing money and other shit, but I just keep my head down and let it all fall into motion. Cassie couldn't get Trey's address, but I was able to find his dad by reversing the number he texted me from, and then I got his dad's address, meaning his. I called up Taz, some other people that don't need to be mentioned, and on a Friday night, while Trey was out thinking he would get something from Cassie, we took what was ours. I'm not going to get into too many details, but just know he had nothing left to flex. After we got our business done, me and Taz went different ways, and I stayed the night at my cousin's. The next morning, as my cousin's about to drop me off at home, I get a phone call from none other than Trey, who on speaker apologized for what he said about me, asked for his stuff back, saying he would call the cops. Now of course, it wasn't me, and I just blocked bro's number. By this point, I was out of school for summer and wasn't seeing Dylan again, and I think Trey either graduated or moved schools, because the only time I saw him after that was while he was scootering down the street by my house. I drove past him yelling he was a bitch. Moral of the story, don't flex guns and talk about shooting unless you actually have nothing to lose. Don't make up stories about people over jealousy, and most importantly, don't ever fight over a bitch. This was Fabled though. Like and subscribe if you fucked with the video. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Talked on my name, ride this truck in the fall. Planning out a mission, got Taz on the call. Boy wanna snitch, so I ride him in the hall. Ain't give no fucks, Fable really about it all.